brain. You mentioned that you wanted to shatter those stereotypes of people with serious mental illness as, kind of seen as dangerous villains and people unworthy of love. Do you think you can elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, so with the movie, I wanted to be able to challenge the stereotypes that, quite honestly, Hollywood has sort of perpetuated, the media in general, where they use those characters as the antagonists, right? Instead of allowing them to kind of be whole people who just have a mental illness, right? So that was the goal, is to be able to show that she is a normal, for lack of a better word, like she is a typical teenager who you might know yourself or who you might have gone to school with, and she also, behind closed doors, is dealing with this other thing, obstacle.
Also, one thing that I do think that we sometimes tend to oversee is that some people that actually have some mental illness, whether it be something simple like anxiety, sometimes can see a little more than the average person that doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of that's a lot of what the film deals with, or what I'm trying to like draw similarities to, is saying, because depression and anxiety are sort of accepted and like understood more so now, I wanted to be able to take schizophrenia and draw comparisons. It is very similar. Like, we often, if you suffer from anxiety, which I do, spin stories in my head all the time, and it's like, that didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet, so why are you worried about it? And she's also kind of creating this narrative in her mind, and hers is obviously more severe than anything I've experienced, but because there are similarities, I think it's easier to empathize with her and to say, that's just a couple steps removed, but it is so close that I really can feel that.
I agree. I suffer from anxiety too. So when I was watching, it was just like, I think it's one of those things where you can just kind of, because you have these stories, that play in your head of stuff that is yet to even close to happening, you kind of start questioning and considering changes. Yeah. But as the writer, what made you choose schizophrenia in this case?
Well, I wanted to create a story about mental illness, and specifically with the aim to destigmatize. And I think that schizophrenia is often misunderstood and the most stigmatized of mental illnesses. So that one seemed the most natural, as well as it lends itself to film because there is a visual and auditory component with the hallucinations.
And in this case, it was a little more challenging because he also did it with it's like a psychological horror thriller story.
Yeah, there's that whole, but that's all to kind of underline that, like, Rain's journey herself is to kind of own herself, I guess, is the thing. Like, it is kind of a coming of age story as well, where she's growing more confident in her own shoes and accepting that, like, this is what she has and this is how to manage it, and kind of becoming an adult in that way.
Mm-hmm. Just to finalize real quick, what do you hope viewers take away from this story?
I hope that they really enjoy the movie just as an escapist film when they're watching it. And then I hope that afterwards they're able to talk to whoever they watched it with and maybe challenge their assumptions about schizophrenia and mental illness, and have those kind of bigger discussions about how it's treated in society and what sort of resources may be necessary to help people.
Thank you so much for your time. And it looks like we got the memo. We're both wearing red.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations and good luck, and take care.
Thank you.